Hello, my name is Justin Bright, and welcome to Kerbal Space Program version 1.3, in which I am attempting to make Kerbals a multiplanetary species. And here we have one of the last bits, or one of the first bits, I guess, one of the middle bits of the do-it-yourself containers that we are dropping down to Duna's surface. Ker-chunk! There we go, we've got that done. All docked up with the botany lab, which is a 40-ton monstrosity that we will be bringing on down. So let's get everything rigged up. Let's see, we've got ore that we need to worry about from this highlight. Yes, please. From you out at high velocities because we want to fill everything else up, and RCS as well. That's going to be these two. So we'll just transfer this one in. And control from here. Alright, now it's just a matter of getting this down to the ground. So this one belongs to, the botany lab belongs to the southern basin. So let's go ahead and get that targeted. We'll save the game. Target, southern basin. TCA is enabled. Give me a landing trajectory, please and thank you. There we have that. We'll turn off RCS. And I will execute this deorbit burn, thank you very, very much. There, so I actually turned TCA back on because I realized I didn't actually abort the maneuver. I just flipped this off, so it actually saved everything. So I'm going to have TCA deal with at least this part. Because I need to be careful. This is what I think screwed me up last time, is I still had this maneuver kind of locked and loaded. So I actually need to turn that off as soon as we're done with this, and then I will handle that part of the descent myself, because we need to be a little bit careful about the port maneuver. Because we need to be careful about how we enter. Because we are coming in very, very warm and vertically, and that means that we do have to deal with the what do you call it? We have to deal with plasma, which I discussed last thing I was bringing down. So just got to be very careful about that, that's all. Reentry in 20 seconds. 10 now. Waiting for the plasma. Where's our target at? Okay, we are actually heading over it right now, so let's go ahead and fire our engine. What's happening? Are you throttling? Stop throttling. I need as much thrust as I can get because we actually have a nice big heavy payload this time. Alright, so we are going to kill a lot of our velocity here. I want to kill all of our lateral velocity and a lot of our vertical velocity. Now I'm going to turn this on. Kill, go to target. That way it should bring us over to the southern basin, which is where we want this base module to be, and turn the engines on so that this thing can actually do its work. I didn't forget this time. Well, I did forget, but only for a moment. Here, let's give it a little bit more leeway as to how fast it can go, but no faster than 200 meters per second, please and thank you. Alright, well this looks a little bit out of control, but I trust that it's actually doing, it looks like it's doing the right thing, where it's getting us, it's killing off any vertical velocity that we might have and pushing us directly over the top of our target, which is much safer. I wish we weren't gaining this much vertical speed, because I really don't feel like that's necessary. But I did at least discover what the issue was as far as how that goes. And with a bit of struggling and a lot of flying around and kind of zooming in loops again, and, you know, going a bit suborbital, flying out of the atmosphere, coming right back in, I discovered that my big issue with this was I did not have the hover button checked, or the auto throttle. I'm not 100% sure why that's required, to not fly yourself way out of the atmosphere when you're trying to do a go-to, because I don't think that it was actually going to in any reasonable way. But once I tried again with hover checked, you actually maintain kind of a ceiling for how high you can go, or how high your vessel allows itself to go, and it will properly align itself ballistically. Alright, so now we're low enough that I am just going to use the auto throttle to bring us down. We should kill our rotation. Whoops, I bounced off the ground. There, up just a teeny, yeah, hold us right there. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. Okay, so I would like to hover here, but I can't actually see the darn. Okay, now decouple. Now don't freak out. My TCA turned off. Whoa, careful now. Hover, please. And so now, as you can see, I'm doing the go-to with hover and follow terrain and auto throttle all turned on, which kind of caps us out at that little ceiling, as you can see, and reducing that speed keeps us from going too fast and tipping end over end. Oh, that performed admirably. Beautiful. Okay, now we're in the southern basin again. And slowly approaching the top here. So let's just go into land. There, found us a good spot, looks like. And we are descending. And we are coming down to touchdown so gently. Perfect. Perfect. Cool. Let's save the game. Save the game, I say. Because we are going to detach this container. And I am going to say hover is off, but I would like to come up just slightly, I say. Please be careful. Up just the tiniest little bit. Okay, so yep, keep that horizontal velocity dead. And we're off of that. I want to turn on the RCS and push us over just a little bit. Oh, I'm killing our horizontal velocity, so I don't know why I thought that was going to do anything. Let's just push, 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 push. Come on. There we go. There we go. That's working. Now stop velocity. Oh, glorious. Just glorious. Now we're gonna descend slowly now. And undock. TCA off. All right, so that's it. That's how we're going to get each of these pieces down. We have this this container bit to get down, and that's, you know, whatever. I'm not too concerned about that. That's just extra ore and things that we're going to blow up. But then we have to get this down very carefully. This is the do-it-yourself container, and that needs to be level in a particular orientation for it to work. And then the material kits just need to be nearby, and that's all there is to it. So I need to go do this 5 times. So you may or may not see any of that before I move on to getting some crew over here. One thing I forgot is the what are you even called right now? Hold on, don't time warp past my thing while I'm confused. The Torchbearer Tug, yes, yes indeed. So, the Torchbearer Tug is coming out here with its big stack of machinery, which we will be dropping off near to the candle crane and so forth. Whoops. Not that near, apparently. I forgot how powerful of an engine this is. But yeah, let's get this burn finished up, quote unquote. And how we doing? Doing okay? We're looking great. 0.7 meter separation, fantastic. And target, we are going to have to burn pretty hard to get into this orbit, but that's fine. How long is it going to take us to make this burn? We are at 831. Oops, come on now. 8318 meters is 76 seconds. So we're going to want to start out a little bit before that. Let's save the game. All right, and here we come hurtling in. So about 40 seconds out. Oh, look at that. And BetterBurnTime to the rescue as always. And we will be hitting go on the word go with the massive thrust that the Torchbearer tug provides. 13, 12, what is that, 11 and a half thrust to weight ratio, 11 Gs. That's a pretty significant load. That is not something that's going to be safe for manned expeditions, but these unmanned vessels that we are sending can handle that kind of load just fine. But yeah, we are getting this into inserting this into orbit and rendezvousing at the same time, which we can do because we're using this ridiculous thing with 37,500 kilonewtons of thrust. Something that, while I've got 30 seconds left, I want to say is in my next save, which I'm planning on using like a Galileo's Planet Pack or something like that. I'm probably, I am unlikely to use the torch drives and so forth again, at least not as soon as I have been in this one. I would love to use like near future. I think that's going to feature very heavily. Maybe KSP Interstellar. I have not yet decided that either. But I would like to have more than just the one type of engine that I'm using. I'd like to actually have some options of different things that I can use for different scenarios and so forth, and not just have the one broken or using engine for absolutely everything. But one thing I guess I'll say on that is, even though it does... Gosh, this thing is giving me some trouble. Even though this kind of gives me a little bit of lack of variety and feels a little overpowered, this is not the important thing that I'm trying to get at here. The thing that I find to be important about what we're doing and what we are trying to accomplish is actually getting this base set up. That's more the challenge that I find that we are trying to face, as opposed to, for example, how to make these big journeys with the technologies that we have available to us. So I think that's going to feature a little bit more heavily in a future series, but that is not the focus of this one at the moment. All right, so let's just get this relative velocity just about cut, if you please. Use RCS to finish it off. 0.0, there you go. We'll save the game here. All right, we have here the Candle Crane tug, which is attached to the big batch of machinery that we sent out, attached to the Torchbearer tug. So this thing has done its job very nicely. It's sitting out here in orbit around Duna, where we left it. And now we have the Candle Crane all hooked up so we can bring this down to Duna's surface. And this is the last piece that we need, because I spent what ended up being like 4 hours this weekend just landing stuff and landing stuff and landing stuff and getting everything where it needs to be. Yeah, so that's all taken care of. So now we can actually move on to the last thing we are going to show come down, which has some nice landing legs, and I'm actually going to kind of leave this on the surface just in case I need to move this kit of machinery down by the landing site. So yeah, so now we're just going to get this detached. Whoa! I don't know why that flew off like that, but that was a little troubling. But yeah, so this thing is now just a autonomous tug module with a 3.75 meter docking port on the end. So this can be a pusher for large objects or whatever we end up needing this for. So got plenty of monopropellant and everything else on here. So this thing will just kind of sit here and wait. So let's just make sure that this is controlling from the right place. Control from here. Rename Torchbearer Tug 1. Well, there is only one, so we'll call that Torchbearer Tug. And there we go. Now we're back to this. We're going to control from here to make sure that that is working properly as we come down. We don't want to be trying to control from down below or whatever. And we're going to rename this Lander handle crane. Because we're not going to separate this for the moment when we get this set down, because this thing has these nice big landing legs, so we might as well, you know, use those for now. So yeah, let's go ahead and get this down. Alright, so we are making our final approach with throttle-controlled avionics here. Let me just see, I'm not sure if these legs do what I want them to do as far as... There we go, look at that. My SpaceX, or SpaceY, pardon me, landing legs actually extend up very nicely, and that's the kind of heavy-duty sort of thing that I was looking for this particular scenario. So, yeah, we're going to be landing. Let's just land somewhere. Just pick a spot, land there. It's all good. There we go. Seem to have a nice little spot. That's a little further away than I wanted. Bring it on down now. And we would like to kill horizontal velocity. Very nice. Alright, so we've picked a spot a little ways away. There's a little bit of a slope here, but I'm not terribly worried about that. I'm sure we'll figure something out. And this thing has nice big landing legs, so hopefully this should all come down very nicely. It's bringing us down super duper slow, and it automatically changed our... It automatically toggled our legs, which I did not necessarily need it to do, but that's my own fault for leaving that on. So yeah, it should have no more barriers to landing now. So let me just rotate this a little bit to give us the best possible chance. And with that nice slow of a landing, there we go. We are sliding. Let's turn off TC, dear. There. We are still sliding a bit at fairly high speeds. Down a larger slope than I had anticipated. I almost wish I could turn on brakes or something. Oh goodness, you know how I was just saying that I wish I had an ability to just click a spot and then land there? Well, here's what I'm looking for. You'd think that I would learn by now, but I really just don't. That I should be like looking for this stuff and looking things up, but this is fine. We'll find a good spot. Looking for the flattest possible spot that I can find in between all of our different landing locations. And this looks the safest. So I'm going to say land right there. Just right there. There you go. Beautiful. Waypoint 1, land. Okay, looks like we've got us going to this waypoint now, maybe? Possibly, I hope so. Yeah, looks like we're on our way now. Awesome. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's that feature. I just clicked add waypoint and it allowed me to put a spot right on the ground and then fly to it. I had to do some fiddling with this because I did not understand exactly what I was doing, but that kind of goes with the territory in this as far as I'm concerned. I'm not all that great at stopping to read the directions. I would like things to just be intuitive and work exactly the way that I expect them to, but, oh, I know, maybe we can say that I enjoy discovering extra features because I don't actually research things ahead of time. That's the ticket. In any case, it looks like we will be coming down to land here nice and safely here in just a moment. Should be auto staging or auto landing legs. Yeah, there we go. That's really cool. Automation is neat. Somebody asked me in one of my comments why, you know, they couldn't just go ahead and use automation like for landing and takeoff because SpaceX does it. And you know what? I actually agree completely. Oh my gosh, this is just as much of a slope as I was landing on before. Maybe right up here? Hold on. All right, maybe a 4.1 degrees slope will do a little bit better than what we were doing before. So yeah, someone asked me a little bit earlier in a comment why, you know, I mean, if SpaceX can do automated landing and takeoff and so forth, So can we, and I actually agree completely. I have no issue with people using mech jab or anything like that. So don't take it as that. I just generally prefer to fly my own craft, make my own way, kind of do things manually, just to preserve that fun for myself. Although seeing its potential here is actually kind of cool, like, because this can do things that I definitely cannot do, and that's pretty darn neat. All right, I just can't seem to get this to. Let's just try dropping it down. Sit like that, maybe. Sit right on your RCS jets. I think for some reason it's these recovery legs that are causing me to slide around. So looks like we are finally settled down. So let's go ahead and save the game. So now with this down, we are actually going to leave this here. And hopefully it does not fall over or anything silly like that. And hopefully it stays that way, because we will be leaving this here for now as we move on to other things. But we are all out of time, so if you enjoyed this, please share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.